Excel enables you to build pivot tables from data found both inside and outside the workbook where you create it. If you want to create a pivot table from a data source you either can't or don't want to import into Excel directly, you can create a connection to that data source and work with it in place. I'll demonstrate how to do that in this movie. My sample file is external 0106, and you can find it in the Chapter 1 folder of the exercise files collection. And yes, this is just a blank workbook. We're going to connect to another Excel workbook to demonstrate this process. In your workbook, go to the Insert tab of the ribbon, and then at the far left, click Pivot Table. In the Create Pivot Table dialog box, select the Use an External Data Source option. So go ahead and select that radio button, and then click Choose Connection. Doing so displays the existing connections dialog box. We'll assume that the connection that we want to create isn't already here, but if it were, you could just click it and then click Open. So I'll click Browse for More, and then navigate to the Chapter 1 folder of the exercise files collection. Once you're in the directory, you can click the data source that you want to use. In this case, I called it Data Source, and it is an Excel workbook, and I'll click Open. Doing so displays the Select Table dialog box. In this case, there's only one. It is highlighted in blue, so it's selected. The first row does contain column headers, so I'll click OK. That puts me back into the Create Pivot Table dialog box, and I'll put the pivot table on an existing worksheet, basically where I am right now. I won't add the data to the data model, and I'll click OK. And here you can see I have my pivot table with the field lists over here on the right. And as before, I can add them in. So I'll do Category to the Rows area, and then I'll do Data Purchase to the Columns area, and this time I'll do Quantity, and I can see the quantity for the data that I'm drawing in from my external data source. Not every data source will be as straightforward as Excel. There are some database programs, for example, for which you will need to enter a user ID and a password, but those are all cases that you can work through with your own IT staff.